Hello, shining ones. Magus here on a beautiful day in Asha. If you're brand new to the channel, we're Zoroastrians. We are the Magi. And I have a fun message, but also I think it's a pretty deep message. I want to talk about aliens. I want to talk about angels and demons. And you know what started this is we haven't done an astrology video in a long time, and like astrology, it's not really my thing, but sometimes just out of the fun of being a magi and loving the stars, and it gives us a story, something that we talk about and discuss, and it's kind of fun. But oh my God, did this go deep? Okay, so I'm sure you've heard stories in those ancient texts about like demons or angels or aliens or some being like having intercourse with the women of Earth and changing the DNA and making like these hybrids. But I was thinking about it. Could it be, and we're just talking here, could it be energetically, not so much like physical sex, but the interaction between energies. We know now that you can change DNA, right? You can edit it, you can cut out, and you can add. And could that be done energetically, not sexually, and with the beings and the energy that you are intimate with? It changes you. I mean, just look in the earth itself. Right? Over in Africa, the people's skin is black and their hair is curly and their noses are wider for taking in more oxygen. Or in Asia, their skin is more yellow and their eyes are more squinted. And I mean, wherever you go, because of the influence, the place, the atmosphere, the energy, it changes people physically. And I feel like, couldn't that also happen with the energies that we surround ourselves in, also internally? We're always talking about aliens. People are saying, oh, we're going to make a connection to the aliens. They're already here, my friends. Just because our eyes can't pick up their light frequency doesn't mean they're not here. It's just that our sensors can't pick up what they are, or our ears can't hear it, but they still make a sound, right? I think of a dog whistle. Just because you can't hear it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you can't see certain light frequencies does not mean they don't exist, and they are all around us, my friends. And as you merge, right, you become one with, right? I think about in those ancient writings, a man would know his wife. That meant sex, didn't it? The two become one. And as you know these different energies, right, it does something to you. So this is where I came up with today's title. I think I'm turning blue, my friends. And what I'm thinking of is like Syrian energy, that's Sirius, that star Sirius, because, in art, they're shown as blue. When I've seen myself, let's get weird for a minute, okay? When I've seen myself in the astral plane, I saw myself looking, third party, as blue and kind of clear. And I'm thinking of that energy of Zarathustra, of the Magi. And as we hang out with that energy, we start to know it, and we start to become one with it, and we start to think different. And all of a sudden we look at the way we used to think, and we can't believe it. Right? We've known a different energy. We become one with something better. As you go back and read some of my older books, you can tell I hadn't turned completely blue yet, right? There's an evolution that takes time. It's hard to go from, one place to another that quick. It'd be too jarring. And you'll see in a lot of my older books where I was mixing the Bible and the Zoroastrian teachings, where now I can't even do that anymore. I'm too blue. My friends, at that time I was just evolving as I was around those energies, taking in those new energies, those good energies. And now I'm so blue, I I can't promote the Bible anymore. And so I want to do a little blue test for you. So, and just look and be honest with open eyes, open ears, open heart, and there's no wrong answer. You know, I would never tell you how to think or how to feel, but just to see if you're turning blue. So I want to talk about the story in 2 Kings with Elijah. And it said he was walking through a town and 42 children were making fun of his bald head, which I find funny. Had those kids never seen a bald head before? Was that rare in where they were raised? And it says that Elijah cursed them in the name of the Lord, and 2 bears came out and killed the 42 children. And then he went on his way. And before I was able to read that, and what I got from that is never make fun of the prophet. But now that I've turned blue, I can't look at that the same way. I think about, was that an overreaction? If we saw that today, someone making fun of someone's bald head, and he called a curse on them, a curse from his Lord, and 2 bears came out and ate alive 42 children. Would we think that's good? That's God? Was that an overreaction? Is cursing okay? What Lord would do that over a bald head? My friend, I can't look at it the same way. I've turned too blue, and I'm wondering, are you starting to turn too blue? My friends, I know I've shared this story with you, but stay with me. We're going somewhere. But I can't believe the things I used to laugh at. You know, in my church, before the offering, I remember my pastor talking about the story of Achan and Joshua. And Achan kept some of the treasure for himself. They went in and killed men, women, and children, took the treasure back. Achan kept some. And Joshua brought out Achan's wife and children and killed them as an example to the other soldiers. Don't touch the Lord's money. If we saw that today, is that justice? Is that God? Is that good? Do you ever put yourself in the little kid's shoes? Mommy, Daddy, what's happening? We're going to go see Joshua, the great man of God. Oh, this is so exciting. And then he gives them that sentence of death, and then they stone him, and they're crying. And what did I do? You didn't do anything. You're an example. And they call that good. They call that the highest principle of God. And Joshua's a hero. Are you too blue for that now? And my friend, I could go over story after story. You know I have over all these years. I'm too blue for those stories anymore. You know, and that's okay if you're not. But we are the order of the Magi. And you know what we're seeing around the world right now? Things they're taking the world down back to the foundation. But what is your foundation? A lot of people I hear say we have to tear it all the way down and start again at the base, the Bible. Well, that hasn't worked. Look at the Jewish people. Look at the world. Or the Bibles, the Qurans. If you build from that, if you have a God that loves and hates peace and war, those stories I just shared with you, and there's many more, right? Moses, go in and kill the men, women, and children, and you can keep the young virgins as sex slaves. How about just slavery? That was fine to them. My friends, stoning your children when they're disrespectful. You think Christians don't like abortion now? Wait till they're out of the womb. 7, 8 years old and mouthy. And there's mothers beating their brains out all over the floor. The base, the Bible. You really want to go back to that? Have you ever read it for yourself, thought for yourself? Of course you haven't. You were trained not to. You don't question your gods or your governments. You know, we talked about one of the most fascinating stories I ever heard of was that journalist went and interviewed a Nazi guard right before he died. He's up in his 80s, and she said, "Do you repent? Now that all the museums with the little tiny shoes and the babies and the atrocities, the gas chambers, the horror, the terror. Did you feel bad? Do you repent of it? He said, of course I don't. I did it for God and I did it for my country. My friends, those people aren't blue. I'm picturing some kind of red, but they're not blue. But they think they're good. They think they're God. They think their very book with those stories was written by God's hand, and they will go to their grave believing that and saying that and standing by it. My friends, my God, my God. Are you too blue, Magi? I know I am. I love being blue. But it just got me thinking about that. These aliens, these angels, these demons, right? It's energy. And what energy you choose to merge with, to know, to become one with, it becomes you. And you think like that, you speak like that, and you act like that. We need to go back to the original. Grab your book, Asha. Let's go to Asha 5 and then Asha 13. Asha 5 says, believe only the highest truth and enter Asha. Asha is heaven on earth. It's the perfect creator's perfect idea. It says, as the wise Lord is perfect, so his idea of creation is perfect. Right? We always say this. What else could come from the perfect creator's perfect mind? Perfection. This is called Asha, truth. This idea of truth is the very spirit of God. It is much more than not making a false statement. It is the true vision of God's ideal existence. It is the real above all real, the highest truth, creation in perfect order and harmony, where nothing occurs at the expense or harm of another. Flip over to Asha 13 real quick and then we'll close up here. Are you guys enjoying this still with me? I love you. You beautiful blue beans. Good is good, bad is bad. Don't you love the simplicity of our message? If people could just get that, good is good, bad is bad, it would change our world that quick. Why is that so hard for people to grab? Why is that so hard? The original word of the good religion, all good comes from the Creator, and no evil comes from him. From this original word, the spiritual world is made straight, and the material world comes into order. Not going to even explain that. You just got that. The original word of false religion is that evil comes from the Creator. And this false idea is all the evil creatures suffer. My friends, the world seems bent on tearing down the structures that are to bring it down to the base. Let's make sure our base is good. Zoroaster good, unmixed, undefiled, undiluted, pure good, love, peace, joy, kind, right, Asha. Imagine that world building from that. We start at the base that's real, the thing that came from the perfect creator's perfect mind, and then imagine that evolution as it gets gooder and gooder, godder and godder, lighter and brighter, and just a bunch of blue people running around, my friends. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Maybe share it with someone. You know, the Zoroastrian Creed says this message is for everyone, so we can bring in Frasho Kredi, Asha actualized. I love, love, love you.